Welcome back for another packed edition of NC Sports Weekly News. Plenty of action on the water, high-end offshore sailing American style at the Atlantic Cup. Dartmouth and Charleston celebrate national victories in college sailing. The Maxis are back in Sardinia. Racing now at La Solitaire du Figaru and the Route de Prince. Surf update. Top ASP contenders face off in Fiji, and the juniors take on the world from Nicaragua. The very best of British sailing tradition at the Round the Island race. Plunge into the action with NC Sports. The Atlantic Cup is once again bringing to the forefront the very best of high-end offshore racing in the USA. 8 top double-handed crews faced off on their Class 40s in this last 2013 edition, including grueling and sleepless legs from Charleston to New York and then on to Newport.
Really hard work and not sleeping. It's just having these boats so close together all the time. Just really, you can't relax enough to fall asleep, so you might as well just stay on deck and keep working and just constantly just trimming, keeping it going in the right direction, and just trying to gain every little tiny advantage you possibly can. Because, you know, all the boats are stuck. They're hooked up like rubber bands.
The fleet covered the 700 nautical miles in tight formation. Co-skippers Dave Rierick and Mac Charles on Bodacious Dream took both legs for the USA with just a handful of minutes before veteran Kiwi Conrad Coleman on Le Coq Cuisine. Enough for both to secure top positions. The battle for third place honors was instead decided during the 5 inshore races held in Newport with a 6-member crew. Led by Americans Pousher and Fetch, and with North Sails president Ken Reed on board, Icarus kept a better average and completed the overall podium.
It's just fun sailing with a bunch of young guys who are really into the sport like this and go ripping around a race course. Doesn't get any better than that.
Full onboard action on the ultra-modern Class 40s and all the highlights from the Atlantic Cup 2013 coming soon on NC Sports Top Story. The very best U.S. intercollegiate sailing teams were on the water for the ICSA Women's and Co-Ed National Championships, co-hosted this year by the University of South Florida, Eckerd College, and the St. Petersburg Yacht Club. With a hefty 40-point lead in 18 races built on excellent control on the starts and consistently high scores, Dartmouth's Big Green, led by Lambert and Crawford in the A Division, are the new 2013 Women's Collegiate Champions. St. Mary's College never let up and duly earned their second-place finish, while just a single-point margin put Cornell ahead of Boston College for third place. Consistency was also key for the College of Charleston, sailing away with a national co-ed title in another 18 regattas here in Tampa Bay. Magley, McAdams, and DeColibus dominated the 3-day event in the A Division for the overall Cougars victory. Georgetown co-ed sailors clinched the second place with just 20 points off the lead. And confirming a splendid 2013 season, Dartmouth took third overall. Spectacular maxi racing in Portocervo, Italy is back in full swing as the Loro Piana Super Yacht Regatta kicked off last weekend in top weather conditions. Yet due to an unusual lack of wind in the last day here in the Bonifacio Strait between Sardinia and Corsica, just 3 of the 4 scheduled races delivered the overall title. My Song's 3 straight wins to secure leadership in Class A were still not enough for host Luigi Loro Piana and his team to capture the overall event. Instead, with 2 wins and a third place to take Class B, Barry Houghton's 45-meter Fitzroy yacht Salperton 4 clinched the 2013 trophy on corrected time. Also with a 1-1-3 score, the wooden maxi Becquia owned by Jess Staley dominated the series and took home victory in Class C. Plenty offshore sailing happening now in the EU. Up the Bay of Biscay, from Gijón to Roscoff, the 41 boats in La Solitaire du Figaru have again left the docks to face the third 436 nautical mile stretch of the French classic solo that began back in 1970. Favorite Jan Elias on Groupe Keguinet clinched leg 1 from Bordeaux to Porto, while leg 2 with a tricky Cape Finisterre passage went to Armel Lecléache on Banque Populaire. As it stands, Yann Elias is the current leader, with Frédéric Duthil and Alexis Loison closing the overall podium. But it's a very tight 2013 edition with by-the-minute position shifts, and only the best skippers will make the difference on these one-design 30-foot Figaros. Following a first leg from Valencia through the Strait of Gibraltar to reach Lisbon, La Route de Prince for multihulls is now on its way to Dunlaguer, Ireland. Featuring 3 classes in full crew configurations, the 50-footers, the ultra-powerful Mod 70, and a single 80-footer, this very first edition has brought several top pros to this new Round Europe challenge. The very best are here. Lalou Roucayrol, Jean-Pierre Dick, Sébastien Josse, Jan Guichard, and Edmond de Rothschild, who dominated inshore racing in Valencia. Even Lionel Lemonchois, in search of the overall record, is here on his maxi trimaran, Prince de Bretagne. The ASP World Championship Tour is wrapping things up in Tavarua for the men's Volcom Figi Pro in shifty conditions and with several late days due to lack of waves. As this edition goes to release, top contenders have made it through the first rounds and are facing the final direct elimination stages in the quarters, semis, and finals. All eyes are on the 5 top contenders for this year's title: De Sosa, Smith, Fanning, Slater, and Burrows. Will 2012 champion Joel Parkinson make a comeback? Nearly 300 of the world's best young surfers from 30 countries heeded the call in Jiquiliste, Nicaragua, and are now battling it out wave after wave at the Daikini World Junior Championship. Following the classic Parade of Nations and unique opening ceremonies with the exclusive presence of the legendary president Daniel Ortega, ISA kicked off the annual surfing bout for boys and girls in the under 16 and under 18 categories. The champions of tomorrow. Full ASP results from Fiji and from the ISA juniors in Nicaragua on the next NC Sports Weekly News.
To go on the adventure of sailing around the Isle of Wight is just fantastic in itself. The fact that it's a race takes it to another level. It brings in phenomenal sailors like Ben and Alex Thompson and all these sailors who are real pros, but racing alongside the sailors who are just out there for a fantastic day to sail around the island. So I think that in itself makes it very special.
It's one of the most prestigious and iconic sailing events in the world. Much more than a race, it is today a truly national event. A yearly spring ritual that finds deep roots in the passionate and glorious British seafaring tradition. No wonder all the big names are here. With nearly 1,000 boats of all makes, sizes, and time periods on the start line, the Round the Island Race 2013 again offered an amazing spectacle. And not just for those lucky ones on the 50 nautical mile course rounding the Isle of Wight, but also for the many onlookers flocking to Cowes to follow this unique race from the coastline. Closing in under 3 hours and with a new multi-hull record, Ben Ainsley and his AC-45 BAR team shaved off 16 minutes from the previous 2001 mark in a fast and emotional race dedicated to fellow Olympic sailor Andrew Bart Simpson. In the monos, Mike Slay's ICAP Leopard crossed the line in under 3 hours and 45 minutes, beating the record for the 5th year in a row and thrice now on this 100-footer. While the prestigious Gold Roman Bowl for first place overall on corrected time went to Sir Keith Mills on his TP52 5 West. The full report on this 2013 Round the Island race on the next edition of NC Sports Top Story. NC Sports. Plunge into the action.